Continue on with 1A4. This is going to be looking at even and odd functions, which has a lot of implications in later math. And even later in this course, we're still going to be on even and odd functions when we get to like the cosine and sine functions. Basically, it's a fairly simplistic concept in that if you're even, it's going to be symmetric to the y-axis. And if it's odd, it's going to be symmetric about the origin. So what we're going to do is we're going to have an algebraic test, and it's a straightforward test in that all we're going to do, and this is going to be for every one of our tests, we're going to take f of x and do f of negative x. And if we do this, f of negative x, and find out what that is, and if it's even, it's going to come back and equal it back to the original function of f of x. If it's odd, it's going to be the opposite. It's going to be negative f of x. And if it's neither, it's not going to be either one of these cases. So the test is basic. We're going to put in f of negative x, and wherever we see an x, we're going to put in a negative x. So here we go, cubed minus a negative x. And what we have here is that's, of course, going to be negative x cubed plus x. Well, this doesn't look like our f of x right here. But guess what? If we factor out the negative 1, we have x cubed minus x. Well, this is just a f of x. So this is nothing more than negative f of x. And we have this scenario of odd. Okay, that is an odd function. We're going to do the exact same thing again. So let's go on to the next example. Here we have x squared plus 1, and we're going to put in the negative. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to do g of negative x is equal to negative x squared plus 1. Well, that's simply going to turn into x squared plus 1. This is my g of x. So what we have is g of negative x is equal to g of x. Well, that's going to be even. And if you remember your quadratic parent function, it is symmetric about the y-axis. Next one, if you're using your inductive reasoning, you probably predict this to be neither. So what we have here is 2x cubed plus 5, and we're going to go ahead and do the test. X of negative x is equal to 2 times negative x cubed plus 5. And what we got is negative 2x cubed plus 5. We go, okay, first glance, that doesn't look the same. So what happens if we pull out the negative 1? We get 2x cubed minus 5. Well, that's a bit of a problem, because if we have negative h of x, it's going to equal to negative 2x cubed minus 5. Or if we factor that out, we have negative 2x cubed plus 5. They're not matching. We don't have anything that matches, so it's going to be a neither. All right, so that is it. You're just basically putting in the negative x for all your tests and seeing if you get one of those three scenarios. Alrighty, I'll get this posted and have this test memorized.